Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to another episode of Monday Morning Grit with Warren and James.
Glad to have you.
We're back in Grit City with another week.
Yep.
It's finally hot out.
Yeah. Well,
I almost had to put my air conditioner in.
At least just on Saturday, I feel like it significantly cooled off on Sunday.
Yeah, but it was still pretty hot.
Yeah.
In this room right here, it got to 100 degrees.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I had to open the door and put the fan on.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so you got to get that air conditioner in here.
Yeah, for sure. But did you have a good week? Did you?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know exactly what I did. Nothing. Oh, I went to some parks, on the hot days.
Yeah.
I went to Kubota Park in Renton. It's one of my favorite parks.
What in particular do you like about it?
It's landscaped in a way where the trails are windy and hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And so that makes the park seem much bigger than it is.
Okay.
And it's layered in a way where almost every vantage point has a large scope of view.
Okay.
Yes.
How big is the park? Like if you had to compare it to another like municipal park in the area?
I'm not sure because it's very deceptive how big it is. I think maybe like 10 acres would maybe be too small.
Okay. Yeah.
But hard to say.
So it's
very like it's up and down and like.
So it's smaller than Wright Park, probably.
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
But it was created by this Japanese guy over 100 years ago with the intention of making this Japanese style park, and he like grew the trees with the intention of like in 100 years that'll like be the perfect land, like they'll have filled out, and so you've never been to a park with as much variety in the foliage.
Really?
And just like the layering of the types of trees was very. It's very impressive.
I'll have to check it out. I don't get to Renton very often, and when I do go to Renton, most of the places, while they do have Renton addresses, are closer to like South Center or Kent.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is maybe it's even for a little on the north side of Renton, but I'm pretty sure it's in Renton.
Yeah.
Probably the best park there, right after, or number 2 being Grand Coulee.
Okay.
That's not what it is, not Grand Coulee. It's something cool on. Great. I can't remember. It's on the water, and it's got a lot of parking.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No, that's good. I went to Teninio yesterday.
Oh, yeah? What for?
I figured I'd just go out there and take some footage. I actually put together a video of it. So hopefully I'll get that posted on YouTube by the time this goes up. Which editing, not fun.
No, it's substantially more work than the other kind of stuff.
It always takes a lot longer than you would think. Like it's probably a 16, 17-minute video, and I've been working on it all day.
You have to watch. You figure you got to watch it at least once.
Yep.
And so that everything you create takes at least as long to edit.
Right, for sure. And
probably times 3 or 4.
The thing is,
how efficient your pass-throughs are.
When you get to the end and you just watch the final project one more time, I'm not even interested. I've seen everything in here 10 times.
Yeah, well, that's how you know if it's good or not.
Yeah.
If it really stands through all the editing.
But honestly, it's as far as content goes, it's probably the best thing I've ever made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. It should be called A Spring Morning in Teninio. Sounds like a Shakespeare play, doesn't it?
Yeah. So did you put music to it, or is it pure audio, like pure train audio?
It's I talk over it a bit at times.
Oh, you got some narration
to give relevant information. Yeah.
Are you in the video at all?
No, I thought about it. Maybe next time. Yeah, if anything.
You weren't dressed for the occasion?
Well, no. If anything, I just poor project management, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an afterthought, like, oh, I should have done that.
Well,
right?
that's the real value of editing is you go back over your material and you realize what you would do differently next time you record.
Yeah. So it was, I feel like I've learned a lot. Teninio, you've been there before, right?
Yeah, one time.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool little town. One thing I learned about it when I was there during the Great Depression, because of like a shortage of cash at the bank, they made wood money.
Whoa,
in Teninio
really?
as like a form of like scrip that you could use to buy things within Teninio.
How? It seems like wood is very plentiful in Teninio.
You know, I guess you could counterfeit it if you wanted to, but like the thing is they weren't even really like successful anyways because people were so fascinated by the novelty of wooden dollars. Everybody just kept them as collector's items.
Is that where the phrase wooden nickel comes from?
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, the
Ooh.
wooden nickel.
I'm not entirely sure actually. I didn't dig into it too much, but they came back, the wooden money, during COVID-19 to sort of keep the local businesses,
to give them something to do.
Well, not necessarily something to do, but just sort of to incentivize people to like keep the local businesses afloat during the pandemic. The Chamber of Commerce made wooden dollars again, which like certain businesses would accept as payment.
Interesting. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
I feel like
take them to the bank.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't fit in your wallet very good though.
Probably not, although they probably just made them on paper, which I guess is a wood byproduct.
Yeah, well then how's that that's hardly different from money as it is. But I guess money these days is made, it's like more of a fabric.
Yeah, I think it's cotton, so it doesn't just get completely disintegrated in water or anything like that.
Which I'm thankful for the amount of times I've washed money in my clothes.
Yeah, same here.
But that would suck so much. You wash money in your clothes and it just disintegrates. Or like it's rainy out and you have like money in a jacket that's not waterproof.
Yeah.
And then it just melts in your pocket.
Jeez. The other thing about Teninio, like historically, that I thought was interesting.
Wait, just a quick pause back on the money. Does money burn?
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought they made a new thing with the blue 100s that they don't burn.
They might be more resistant to burning, but everything has its everything has its limit.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Everything has its burning point.
But
for example, paper, 451 degrees Fahrenheit.
450, yeah.
Right?
Or is it 458?
Have you ever seen that experiment?
Oh, yeah,
where
what is
people
it?
Make steam catch stuff on fire.
Whoa, no.
Yeah, you like superheat the steam.
Huh.
Like, so basically the only way to do it is like you like boil something and you have like a long metal tube where the steam's coming out of. Then you add a secondary heat source to that tube.
Ooh.
And as it's coming out, it makes the steam so hot that like you can't see it. But
it'll catch something on fire.
Yeah.
That's
pretty cool. I like that. Have you ever done that with a laser pointer?
No.
If you get a powerful enough laser pointer, you can light a playing card on fire from the other side of the room.
Nice.
I got in trouble when I was about 12 or 13 because I got my hands on one of those lasers.
Ooh.
And I took it to church.
Oh, that's a dangerous place.
I was just like, it was like an amphitheater. So I was just like, summertime, I'm just like getting people's legs and shit.
Oh, yeah. Pointing up at the Jesus on the cross.
No, it was just people.
Oh.
Human beings were getting burned at church.
Yep. But yeah, the other thing is Highway 99 used to run through Teninio. And
Old Highway 99.
The road's called Old Highway 99 now, but it was notorious as a speed trap because you have this pretty significant highway, at least in the days before I-5 was built, that just goes through this small town where obviously the speed limit has been dropped tremendously, and you bet your ass they were waiting there for people.
Teninio, the speed trap.
The speed trap. Famous for
No, it's more of a speed boon. I like speed there.
To 90210. TV show.
But yeah, famous for its sandstone quarry.
Oh
too.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, and I mentioned this in the video.
that's like the least valuable gemstone, I think.
It makes sense because every time I'm out in Teninio, I'm just like, so much sand.
It's for construction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before concrete was made, and then concrete came around, and they were like, oh, I guess they don't need the sandstone anymore. We'll close the quarry.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about the city concrete?
Just, yeah, like...
It's got to be the biggest bummer of, like, strip mining.
Ugh.
Like, it wasn't for, like, even trains or, like, it wasn't for, like, coal or, like, anything valuable. It's just for, like, the fourth best building material.
Yeah, it's big blocks. But I actually knew about Teninio before ever having visited.
Oh, yeah?
Because the Army uses a map of Teninio to teach people how to read maps.
Oh, interesting.
It's because Teninio has a very diverse mix of natural and man-made features that would basically make it you get the most bang for your buck in terms of like symbols and terrain features you have to identify on
We're
the
talking
map.
about the whole of the Army, like no matter what base you're on.
Yes.
Huh. When you're learning that's like Maps 101,
So,
they use that map everywhere.
Like this is what a cliff looks like on a map, or this is what a lake looks like, or this is what a highway looks like, stuff like that.
So it's very diverse in Teninio, but
Yes.
mostly geologically.
Well, also with man-made features too, because you have like quarries, radio towers.
People are addicted.
Yeah. I wouldn't say racially diverse, but geographically diverse, topographically diverse.
Right, but I mean, it's I think since the 70s.
Huh.
Yeah, so it's kind of like world famous.
It's famous, but only to
to a club. It's a large club, but it's a club nonetheless.
Oh yeah.
That's how you can weed out people that are
not in the fake military
pretenders. Stolen valor.
Yeah,
you're like, tell me about Teninio.
Yeah,
and they're just all like, where?
Huh?
And you're like, oh.
You
Although,
take your map course.
I wonder, like, at what rank they're like, maybe we should teach them how to read maps. Like, I don't know if, like, the privates, for instance, are getting the Teninio
not everybody
map
gets to read a
lessons.
map in the Army.
Well, everybody should.
What were you?
I was a transportation, an ordnance officer, but in a transportation role. So I had to know how to read maps to,
to get things from place to place.
Combat.
No.
Were you combat trained?
I mean, they train everybody how to shoot.
But, like, specialized training?
No, not really. No specialized.
In a bar fight, I shouldn't look for Warren.
Well, I don't know. He saved you in that bar fight.
With a street sign.
Yeah, you improvised.
Granted, I was not around for that.
the best.
He saved you.
The best advice for bar fights is to just not get in bar fights.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like...
What if you live inside of a bar?
What if a certain gob or certain goose wants to get buck one night? I would do I have a soldier behind me? Or do I have a transportations expert that's just going to know how to
He's
read
going to be like,
maps
you
and get
over
me to the
there.
hospital? I know how to get him to the hospital. I have a map.
I know where all the hospitals in the area are.
Maybe.
That's probably a good thing to know, actually.
It's not.
I'm not
bad.
actually even sure where the nearest hospital is, because there's quite a few awfully close.
Yeah, actually, that's a good question.
Shouldn't the military have GPSs also?
They do, but I mean,
you never know.
In the event of an EMP.
Well, you still have to read the GPS.
Yeah, but I don't think a GPS if you're like, because I don't know, I just can't imagine that it's that hard to tell oh, there's a cliff here, like a GPS. It's not like a fucking 1990.
Unless you're Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, you certainly have the GPSs available to you, but learning how to read a map is a backup, especially because certain Army GPSs, how when you pull up Google Maps, you can pull up the actual map,
satellite
the street map in the satellite image. In the Army, a lot of the GPSs run off of those topographic maps that you were taught to read.
Well, or even there might have like information layers over the top of it that you need to understand the keys for.
For sure.
Now, let's say I found a treasure map.
Yes.
Ooh.
Are you the guy to call to help?
That's actually a good call. Good point.
You know what? I could probably help.
Now, do you think pirates were very concerned with topography when creating these maps? Like, are we gonna come?
Oh yeah, how
like
our pirate
there's no
maps
warning
that
of this cliff.
I actually think they were good at doing
I
those
think-
things.
yeah.
Like, there's the cliff.
Yeah, they'd be
Well,
like,
it's just like a drawing of a cliff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not connected to anything
Yeah.
else. 50 paces away.
It's not like there's a bunch of like squiggly lines to outline the mountain. It's just like a drawing that says "Wall of Mystery."
I like that paces. The problem is not everybody has the same pace.
Well, you got to learn the common pace.
You're just like, oh my god, who did this? Fucking Usain Bolt.
Yeah,
His stride was huge.
How large were this guy's testicles? That's what we learned recently. If you have a large testicles, you walk with a wider gait.
A wider gait. Interesting.
It's not proven, but it's
No.
a theory we've been working on.
Oh, you guys have been working on it.
Yeah.
That's why they call it bow-legged, because this guy Bo has really big balls, and he walks funny.
Jeez Louise.
So I read an interesting piece of news about our state recently.
Yeah. Well,
that there's a new police squad, or I don't know if you call it squad, department that's being established to specialize on Native American cold cases.
oh, like the missing people.
Missing people. So apparently there's like 140 missing Native Americans in Washington State currently.
Yep.
And
like half of them.
And they're 10 times more. Well, a Native American woman is 10 times more likely to be murdered or abducted than the average woman in the state.
That's insane.
Yeah. So they're making a new. They're making
Destiny.
a whole of. Well,
Jesus.
It's really because it's I don't know. There's lots of reasons, but I was thinking. I wonder how long after this department is created does it become a TV show?
Oh, like how they had Alaska State Troopers.
Exactly, or how they have like CSI
Dude,
Miami.
It's just some native guy, and he's like, he knows something. How do you know? A rattlesnake just went by.
Jesus.
They're listening to the ground.
So you think like a TV drama or like a reality show or maybe both?
No, I'm thinking TV drama. I'm thinking
Okay.
like because there already are like Cold Case Files already is a TV show.
Yeah, or just
and
cold
to make
case.
it Native American specific, I think is an interesting subcategory.
Quick, turn on the sirens. Hiya, 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 hiya.
Jesus fucking Christ, Logan.
I wonder if they make the deputies Native American as well, or if it's just the victims. I think they'd have a better connection to the community.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like, there's already police departments within
More potential for cover-ups.
within like the
Maybe.
nations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if there's already like a talent pool there. So I'm sure they could find some people if they
There
wanted.
we go. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. No, it'll certainly be
hope they-
interesting.
I
Do you know
What
what
if they
it's
solve all the cases?
Yeah, like
What if there was what if it's all just one Native American serial killer?
that's
Wouldn't that be kind
crazy?
of sick?
Like that would
Because it's like Gary Ridgway is famous for like preying on people who prostitutes because they weren't like in the eye of society, so there wasn't as much notice when they were missing.
right.
And so that's what serial killers are attracted to. Very easily, you could go target Native Americans.
I'm asking this question out of genuine curiosity, not trying to be funny or
Uh-huh.
anything. Oh fuck! I just lost it. No. Okay. I found it.
Uh-huh.
So, Native Americans used to be extremely prominent, obviously
Mhm.
pre-white colonialism.
Mm-hmm.
Can like a race of people be classified as an endangered species?
Interesting. I don't know if they can, but I don't
Protected.
think they're at levels that are low enough. Endangered is really low.
And like, I mean,
Like
endangered
I think
species
it's
implies.
Yes,
Well,
you're right.
yeah, I know
species
they're- I
is
know they're not a
different.
different species. That's not what I mean at all. But
Right.
it's like the idea of like something being endangered, so like people are trying to like
Yeah,
take
no, that
care of it.
it's
like,
interesting because I've heard of
protect it
in the
right.
context of their languages. So I've heard like Latin is a dead language.
Does that mean we'd be like forcing them to like have I don't know? All of it like makes for a weird like context and shit. But
yeah, but I do think there are endangered languages.
Yeah.
So like I remember there were like the last 2 people to speak some like Icelandic whatever sub language, and then it died, and it happened like 20 years ago.
Right.
But it's even more common with Native American languages in British Columbia, because they got like 100 different ones, and a bunch of their tribes have like merged or gone extinct, I guess you'd say.
What's that valley in like northern India where they like have found lots of like writing and stuff, but there's no Rosetta Stone for the language? So we have like just like tons and tons of documented writings from this culture, but like we can't decipher any of it.
It might be the Indus Valley.
I think it's the Indus.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, way of life too and culture in general, I mean, is certainly endangered, especially for like, you know, if you look at the Snake River Dam like sort of debate, right? Because if the salmon can't go back up the stream to spawn, and there's communities that depend on the salmon, I mean, that's sort of an existential threat to at least your way of life, right?
But on the other side, you can also think that like the way that evolution happens is it's a branching of the branches, right? And it usually means a hard cut, right? It's very rarely a gradual change. All the people who are shorter than 5 foot get executed, and all the people who are allergic to rhubarb die, and all the cultures who are reliant on the salmon, and then there's no salmon one year and they all pass.
And the people who can't figure out how to make shelter.
So I don't know. I think that there's kind of a natural pattern to it, but
I mean, yeah. Well, nothing lasts forever.
I guess the idea though is you'd like for evolution to not be something that like another group forced on a group. You want it to like be something that's out of everyone's control, like an ice age, like some type of shift in that regard, rather than like this.
Rather than like some government changing a policy that all of a sudden
there's
a dam in the river.
We
and
built a dam and we were like, "Don't worry, the salmon spawn will be just fine," and then it turns out it wasn't.
And then your home floods.
Yeah,
they're fucking up all kinds of cultural stuff, like not just cultural, but like environmental stuff. Like when it comes to animals, though, like with the whole wolf reintroduction in Colorado and like Montana, like that stuff's all insane. Like the entire Everglades is now just snakes.
the Burmese python.
Yeah, like
here the kudzu in
the South.
The South.
The vine that ate the South.
Yeah. But we're a Tacoma podcast
we
here,
are
so we care about the salmon, I think.
Yeah, and the marine mammals.
Yeah, and the eelgrass.
The eelgrass.
Bring back the eelgrass. That's what they say.
You missed it.
Do you know about the eelgrass?
No, I don't know about the eelgrass.
The eelgrass is where the salmon's eggs grow. So they lay their eggs in the eelgrass, and it keeps them safe for like the very beginning egg stages.
Interesting.
And when there isn't the eelgrass, they die a lot more. Or they don't make it to that first stage.
I'm guessing we're running low on eelgrass.
Yeah, I guess eelgrass is not doing so hot lately.
Ouch.
I don't know why exactly. I think it's temperatures.
Yeah.
I think it's water temperature or something like that.
Yeah.
I ain't no marine biologist, but I pretend to be every once in a while.
You know the I-5. You know the I-5 bridge over the Puyallup River, the one that they've been had been working on for like years.
Mm-hmm.
Now that that's done, I was promised that would be it for major construction projects in Tacoma for a while.
Who promised you that?
That's what WashDOT said. Like we're done with, for now.
Is there a figurehead for WashDOT?
There's the Secretary of Transportation.
Oh, okay.
But because they redid the interchange on 16, right? Mm-hmm. Where 16 meets 5, and they did this bridge. And they're technically correct. No major construction projects in Tacoma. Right when you get to the Fife curve, massive construction project. I'm not sure what they're.
Looks like they got you.
I know.
You've been duped.
I'm not sure what they're building, but I hope it's worth it.
You don't even know what they're building?
It looks like they're rearranging the highway. It might be part of the project to finish 167 because 167's incomplete. So they might be starting a new interchange or something.
Well, I'm in favor of any construction.
Yeah, I am too. It's just I want to complain about a statement that was technically correct but practically incorrect.
Yeah. Well, I'm in favor. I'm glad they pulled the wool over our eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Keep constructing.
You prefer the surprise?
Yeah. Well, keep constructing.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to do to get it through.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Build, baby, build.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see anything more about the giant warehouse down in South Tacoma?
You are a little biased though, because where are they getting the lumber?
Exactly. Yeah, the lumber.
I didn't inquire about it too much more.
No. Well.
I thought.
Did you see the monster trucks are coming to town in a month?
Oh my goodness! Again, Monster Jam.
I know it seems incredibly frequent, but I think it's just twice a year.
Is it at the T-Dome?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, the beginning of June.
The big trucks are gonna eat the little trucks.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of which, 40th anniversary of the Tacoma Dome.
40th anniversary of the Tacoma Dome. I just was about to bring that up. I got nothing to say about it, but
what's
I was going to bring it up.
Of the Tacoma Dome?
Probably going to the PBR.
Yeah, PBR was good.
Did you guys talk about that already?
Yeah, we went a week and a half ago. Probably not the best I've ever seen at the Tacoma Dome. Probably when my high school went to the basketball championships. That was pretty sick. And we got off school and we all went and we're in the front rows or whatever cheering for our team.
I just can't believe Tacoma has a dome, an indoor arena, basically, that seats 23,000 people.
Why not?
It's quite large for a city of this size.
Well, what do you? I think most cities this size have a arena of that size. When you think about sports stadiums.
Right, but we don't. We pale in comparison to a lot of the cities that have professional sports franchises, in terms of population or the surrounding
but what
market.
but not compared to college stadiums?
That's true. That is
when
true.
you think of how many giant college stadiums there are in cities that aren't that big.
Yeah.
I think it balances it out. Actually, do you know the large?
It's quite a bit bigger than Climate Pledge. It seats almost 5,000 more than Climate Pledge, so it's
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
So fucking, it's cool though, because that means when Elton John comes through and things like that, it's cool. I think.
Yeah, he doesn't have to do.
No, I do think it's cool. It's just it's almost shocking that in the '80s Tacoma got an arena that big.
Yeah, but then you go to the South and you're like, what does Baton Rouge have a 60,000 seat stadium?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. You go to Eugene and you're like, there's a stadium here that holds 80,000 people?
Yeah.
Ducks, dude. Go Ducks.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Tacoma's bigger than Eugene.
But yeah.
And you know where the biggest stadium in the world is? Actually, second biggest?
I know the biggest. I'm pretty sure the biggest is in North Korea.
North Korea, that's the one I'm talking about.
Okay.
I guess it's second biggest now. Have you ever seen videos of that stadium?
The mass games.
The mass games, yeah.
It's incredible.
I was watching it the other day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You gotta look it up. It's not related to Tacoma, so we're gonna come back to topic. But
yeah, but check it out.
check out the mass games in North Korea.
Yeah.
North Koreans have a lot in common with Tacoma.
The dome,
true.
Being, I mean, gosh, probably the largest wooden dome.
Oh, you think it's uncommon for domes to be wooden? I didn't even know.
I think one of this size.
Interesting.
Yes.
Huh.
I mean, I'm not
sure
certain, but
you're right, because some domes are inflated.
Yeah. But this is it's built it was built in like that time before like computer-aided drafting and stuff like that. So I feel like a lot of it was just like on paper, which is.
Have you ever seen those giant drafting rooms from back in the day? Where it'd be like 100 men all in front of like giant boards, just like filling out blueprints.
Wow, that must have been wild.
I've seen pictures and thought it was crazy.
Yeah,
stuck in my head.
Apparently, a ton of people like put their signatures on like the pieces of wood that went into the ceiling. A lot of it got painted over after renovations.
That would have been fun to do when you're the painter, just like erasing all of those.
all this.
What do you like? You sit in the stadium and you look in your binoculars and try to find it.
I think it's just
it's like killing them all over again.
I think it was just like a big, exciting project, and everybody was like, they just wanted a little piece of it,
No, Logan, you're right, because they say the first time you die is when you take your last breath, and the second time you die is when the last person says your name, and the third time you die is when the guy paints over your name on the ceiling of the Tacoma Dome.
Exactly.
It's It kind of reminds me of, how at like Bob's Java Jive, there's a bunch of dollars taped up on the ceiling.
Yep.
I learned at like a lot of places, bars especially, like sailors or like soldiers and guys like that would put
no Air Forcemen.
Maybe this is old school, so planes may not have existed yet, but. The tradition is like you tape a dollar somewhere in the bar, and then when you come back, you have some money to spend.
Oh.
So now every time I see a bar that's got dollar bills taped everywhere, I'm like, dead people. They all died.
Oh, they never came.
They never came back.
Their dollar, or maybe they're just waiting.
Maybe. What are they waiting for the value of the dollar to climb? It's gonna make a rebound.
What if you walk in somewhere like I left this here?
Yeah. Well, they went on a long trip. Takes 7 years to go around the Cape of Good Horns. Good Hope. Combine the two.
But yeah, I guess one name that you can still find in the Tacoma Dome, Roger Silva, who was the guy that laid the last board.
There you go. He put his name on last.
Yeah, pretty large too.
First board, not that little guy who showed up at the end.
Yeah, cut the ribbon, took all the credit.
But yeah, it must have been like incredible building like these structures at that time, because like I think now just being so used to hearing about computer-aided drafting and design versus like the drafting rooms that you were talking about.
I remember seeing that's what I saw, the drafting room for the Sydney Opera House.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was big.
When was that built?
Not as big as the Tacoma Dome draft.
I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, I got an update from one of our recent episodes. We talked about Sugar Ray Seales.
Oh yeah.
And how he was homeless on the hilltop.
Mm-hmm.
Former Olympic boxer, gold medalist. Someone set up a GoFundMe after that article, and now he's got a home.
Awesome.
Yeah, they're paying for him to live for. I'm not sure exactly how long, but it looks like he's doing well for the time being. So that's good to hear.
That's excellent.
It was probably one of our listeners.
Oh yeah.
So thanks to our listeners for
thank you.
being so generous.
For being good gritizens.
Exactly.
The good gritizen takes care of other gritizens. Oh man. Watched the Seattle Sounders yesterday.
How did they win?
They probably could have played a little better. It was a draw.
Oh yeah.
I forget though.
The Kraken's been doing good though.
Yeah, they're tied in the series, aren't they?
Yeah, and
they play the last one.
They scored the first goal in every one of their games.
Nice.
Which is impressive. So excited to see how that series ends.
Yeah.
Try not to interrupt the.
I forgot, I was like, man, they're not playing as well as, they usually do. And then I remembered Salt Lake City's arena, I think it's in a place called Sandy, Utah.
Okay.
4,400 feet above sea level.
That seems like an advantage.
They're playing at altitude.
Yeah. That's almost a mile high.
And that's why Real Salt Lake has a pretty good home record because of that altitude. And I think I think a lot of people who are more like casual soccer fans like myself forget that often. Like we know Colorado has a high stadium, right? we don't think about it so much with Utah, especially because Salt Lake City's in a valley, but it's still pretty high
a mile up. What sports do you think that impacts the most? Do you think soccer is the highest? I think maybe hockey.
Soccer's probably pretty high up there because there's just such a big like cardio aspect to soccer. It's a lot of running. I mean, if you're talking about like the big professional sports,
your respiration rate, right?
Yeah, talking about the big professional sports, I would probably say soccer, hockey, basketball, maybe.
Well, now you're starting to name them all.
Yeah, but baseball, a lot more downtime.
You're right. Not
in baseball.
Much. Baseball, you can play wherever.
Yeah.
That's
football.
Golf, you're probably fine.
Depends on what your position is in football.
Yeah, if you're the kicker, you're good.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it might be even easier. The air's thin up there.
Yeah, maybe. I wonder how much that impacts, like,
a couple of yards, maybe.
Like, I know, like, snipers, if you're going to shoot for long distance, you have to take into account air pressure, right? But, yeah, I'm not sure about kicking a field goal.
Yeah, me either.
But, yeah, it's it got a draw, but because St. Louis City lost, we're back to being
still
top of the
one.
West.
A tie is better than a loss, I suppose.
Yep. You get 1 point for a tie, 0 points for a loss.
She had negative points for a loss.
Well,
negative $1 million.
Negative 1 million. So you never. Everyone's just negative by the end of the season.
Yeah.
Just negative like 999,000.
Yeah, but the thing is, you'd know what it meant. It would still have the same significance.
It's too much math.
Yeah. It's the same amount of math.
I don't want to have to get a calculator out.
Same amount of math, because just one direction counts, and the one direction is negative $1 million, and one direction is 1.
I just, you're increasing the figures, right? The significant.
It'd be the same if you just count your wins and losses separately. So you know how you'd go 5 and 3.
Yeah.
You'd say 5 and negative $3 million.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
So you got anything coming up for the week?
Do I? I don't think I do.
It's the brand new month coming up.
It is.
Are you ready for it?
I was promised flowers.
Yeah.
It's rained quite a bit.
I know. I've seen the magnolias coming out, which is a good sign.
I think I've earned my flowers.
Yeah.
I actually have seen some coming out, too.
I've started to see. I'm waiting for the roses.
Yeah. You ever had Heidelberg? The
beer? Yeah,
mm-hmm.
I have.
It's it's brewed by 7 Seas now here in Tacoma, but apparently it was the first beer that was canned in the PNW, I think in 36.
I think I've heard this before.
Yeah, but it's very cool that it's still around, because I guess it died out for a while.
Yeah, it did. I know some people who were big fans of it growing up.
I think it was like the Columbia Brewery.
Columbia's really losing its name.
It went under, and then
just like the Columbia Bank.
it got revived by 7 Seas. But I'm trying to think of like big beers that are from this area, and like Rainier is brewed in Colorado now.
Yeah.
Olympia is just it's owned by PBR,
and
I'm sure it's probably also brewed in like Milwaukee or something like that. So it's kind of cool that like Heidelberg's been resurrected as like one of the big beers from the area.
Yeah. I wonder what the next biggest one is, because like Red Hook is where I grew up, and that was one of the Windermere beers.
Yeah,
but then they got bought probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, by Budweiser, I think.
Yeah, but they still manufacture in Redmond, I think, or Woodinville.
Yeah. I think the Budweiser, like Anheuser-Busch, just gobbling up all those craft breweries is why like there's sort of a panic, and you'll notice some craft beers have like the certified independent craft label on them, because it's like, who do I trust now?
What do you think it takes to get that label? How small do you got to be?
I mean, I think there's probably a list of like the big beverage firms, right? Like InBev or Miller Coors or Anheuser-Busch. And as long as you're not owned by one of those, you can probably get certified independent craft.
Yeah, I guess as long as you can almost do process of elimination as long as you're not a big one, you're a
Or
little
like
one.
a Kirkland Signature beer wouldn't be certified independent craft.
Yeah, probably not. Even though it is local.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But it's is there a Kirkland Signature beer? I'd be
I don't know if
shocked
there is. I know they
wasn't.
have the vodka and the tequila.
Have you tried them?
Yeah, they're good.
Okay. Nice.
Uh-huh.
Nice. But yeah, that's all I really had to say about
About that?
Heidelberg.
Oh, sounds good. Well, do we got it? But you don't got anything coming up this week? No, no plans for being out and enjoying the weather or anything?
I just haven't really thought of it.
I guess I haven't really made much plans for the week myself. I at least plan to go out to the park, but I haven't decided which one yet.
I spent, like I said, all day editing that video.
Oh, yeah. Well,
which turned my brain to mush. On the way over here,
mm.
I got on the highway and I was like, This is a
long way to get there.
This didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
But
although actually it probably only added like 2 minutes to your drive.
It really did. Yeah. Less lights to stop at too.
Yeah.
If you like to just keep going, you just go all the way around on the highway.
Yeah, it's like taking the U. It's like taking the bottom part of the U instead of crossing over the top.
Exactly.
But you got to go twice as fast.
Exactly. But man, you get to go fast.
Yeah. No stoplights.
Yeah. But yep, that's about it.
Cool. Well, then I guess that's something. Maybe we should wrap it up for the day, and we'll catch back in with the citizens, the Grit City, next week.
All right. Have a good one.
And enjoy your week like the mountain's out. I think it probably will be.